When I talk to people and I ask them what the biggest hurdle that they have to jump over when they're trying to adopt better eating habits, they almost inevitably tell me that it's a sweet tooth. They're battling some kind of a sweet tooth. My name is Thomas DeLauer. Again, you might recognize me from some of the magazines that I've been on, like Muscle and Fitness and Iron Man, but I want to focus today on how you can overcome the sweet tooth and really get back on the right track, especially as we get into the holiday season and you're gonna be combating all of these tempting foods coming at you left and right. When I talk to people about what their biggest struggle is when they're trying to adopt some new health habits, it's really usually the same answer. I have a sweet tooth. My name is Thomas DeLauer, and Six Pack Shortcuts brought me in as a nutrition expert to talk a little bit about how you can overcome the sweet tooth, especially as we get into the holiday season and you're gonna have all this temptation surrounding you left, right, and center. So I wanna give you 5 foods that you can eat that are gonna sort of satisfy that sweet tooth and still keep you on the right track, make sure that you're building muscle, and make sure that you're losing fat all in the process. The first thing that I want you to try is simply freezing some grapes. Now, ordinarily, I would say take it easy on the fruit. Of course, you have a lot of carbs in it, and it can be processed in the body a little bit differently. Fructose is actually processed differently by the body than traditional sugar. However, when you munch on some frozen grapes, it satisfies a sweet tooth in a really interesting way, because the overall amount of calories that you end up consuming when you're eating frozen grapes is dramatically lower, because generally speaking, you'll pop one of them in your mouth and you'll kind of sit there and let it sit in your mouth for a while. You won't just pop them like you would if you were eating them out of the refrigerator. So the overall calories you consume are much lower. And here's something that's really cool. If you're eating red grapes, they contain something that's called resveratrol. If you've heard before that red wine has a lot of heart benefits and antioxidant benefits, that's why, it's the resveratrol. So you actually get some pretty cool antioxidant benefits out of eating the grapes as well, in addition to curbing that sweet tooth. Next up, I want you to start munching that celery just like you're in kindergarten. Now, okay, you don't have to just eat plain old celery, you can dip it in some peanut butter or some almond butter. But what I found really interesting about celery, especially when I was kind of transforming my life, for those of you that haven't watched, I was 280 pounds about 5 years ago. Celery, I found, actually burns more calories to eat than it contains. So for example, if you eat 1 stalk of celery and it has 5 calories, it's going to take you about 11 calories just to digest and eat that celery. So you're in a calorie deficit already. Now, if you dip it in a little bit of almond butter, you're getting that crunch. You're satisfying the crunch from the celery, then you're getting the satiation that you would get from the fat. So it's gonna keep you satisfied longer and basically prevent you from wanting to munch later on in the day. So celery and peanut butter or celery and almond butter, give it a shot. Number 3, and I put this one on the list because I think it's important for digestive health, is Greek yogurt. And for those of you that are trying to build some muscle, you're gonna love this because Greek yogurt contains a ton of protein in it. And here's an even better part. Greek yogurt has healthy acidophilus and probiotics in it that help increase the absorption of nutrients. So it helps that digestive health. It puts the good bacteria back in your gut. So when it's combined with protein, so the protein that's in the Greek yogurt, you're getting this massive absorption and synthesis of protein because you've got the digestive health and the enzymes that are gonna help break the protein down and get it into the bloodstream and into the muscle so that you can get the metabolism fired up, burn fat, and build muscle. Next, make your own trail mix. I don't recommend going to the store and buying a bag of it, because here's why. A lot of times it's gonna have almonds, peanuts, which is all fine and dandy, but it's gonna combine it with things like M&Ms and chocolate chips, stuff that you really don't need. And if you watch some of my other videos, you know that I talk about mixing fats and carbs is not really the way to go, because you're increasing that insulin response and you're shuttling the sugar and the fat right into storage. So if you're going to have some trail mix, make your own. Use the almonds, use the peanuts, use the cashews, but don't mix it with things like dried fruit. Don't mix it with sugary substances. What I recommend, and here's a little hack for you, is go to the store, go down the baking aisle and get some of the unsweetened baking cocoa, the stuff that you would normally use if you were gonna melt down to bake. It's totally unsweetened and it's bitter, but melt it down, add a little bit of stevia or maybe some Splenda to it, make it sweeter, and then let it set up again so it's hard. You've got a sugar-free chocolate that you can mix right into your trail mix. You've got a low-carb snack that's gonna keep you satisfied throughout the day so you're not tempted to go eat that holiday pie. Lastly, one of my favorites, if not my entire favorite, is make some sugar-free protein pudding. This is so easy these days. You can go to the store, you can find any kind of sugar-free pudding. What I do recommend is try to find one that's sweetened with sucralose and not aspartame. There's a lot of evidence out there showing that aspartame can actually be bad for digestion. And if you haven't caught wind of what I really like to talk about, digestion is key to absorbing protein. So get that sugar-free pudding, mix a couple scoops of protein powder in it when you make it, and boom, you've got a sugar-free dessert that's going to just absolutely leave you building muscle and feeling satisfied while everyone around you is feeling bad about themselves because you're eating something healthy that tastes just as good as that pie. I definitely encourage you to give these sweet tooth annihilators a try. And let me know in the comment section below what you think or if you have any questions. Hopefully this will keep you satisfied through the holidays so you can make the right decisions. And as always, come back and check us out on Six Pack Shortcuts for more nutrition tips and how to stay in the best possible shape and be the best possible version of yourself all the time. See you in the next video.